Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see, this is our virtual device and the Android device, and API demo, it's our testing app. So to write our automation script, whatever you want to do, say example you want to click on views over here, the views option. So you have to, how you gonna write your automation script. If you're familiar with any automation like Selenium or any other, so first things that you have to look at that element where this view is located in this app. So you have to address that element and then you apply some of the actions. What action? It could be click, or it could be writing some text, anything. So example, if you want to click on this view, so you have to find this element, locate this element, then perform the click action. So if you click on there, then it will show you inside the views other options. It will open the all other features inside the views, right? So that's the way. Say example, if you click on gallery, right, it will take to the galleries, what's other option inside the gallery, right? Photos, people. So whatever you want to do, first you have to locate that element, right, and then you perform some action. So how you're going to locate that element, that's what we're going to learn in this tutorial. Welcome to CodeInbox Automation Lab. Let's see, we're going to how we can spy the element. If you're familiar with the Selenium automation, so then it's pretty much almost the same. So over here, to locate an element, which is the locator in Android, over here we use 5 different locator. The locator are xpath, ID, className, accessibilityId, and androidUIautomator. So if you're familiar with the Selenium world, you will see it's the same like xpath, ID, className. All these 3 are same like Selenium. This is the 2 explicitly locator that we use for Android automation, like accessibilityId and androidUIautomator. Especially androidUIautomator is very specific to Android world. Okay, so this is the 5. There is no CSS selector. Just remember that this is the only the 5 locator we can use to locate or address any element in Selenium. Okay, so now how we're going to use those locator, where is the properties of that element, so that we can create xpath or ID or class name, where those attribute that we need, that those elements elements of that whatever you have on your app, the attribute, the value of the xpath, what would be the value of the xpath, or ID, or the value of the ID, or value of the class name, or accessibility's value. So to get all the values or the properties values for any specific element from your app, there is a one tool for Android, or for it's both Android and iOS, is called APM Inspector. So this is a tool that can help you to get the value of the xpath, ID, or class name, whatever the locator you are going to use to locate any element. So let's see where is the how we can get the APM Inspector. So if you just go to Google, if you just go to download, type over here download APM Inspector, and then go to GitHub application over here, the GitHub URL over here, and here you can see currently they have the version 22.11. So this is the APM Inspector for Windows.exe file. Okay, so if you use Windows, please download this one, or if you use Mac, you are going to download this one .dmg file. Okay, it's very simple. It's just a tool like other application. Install it, download and install it, and then after you install it, you will see there will be icon, shortcut icon on your desktop. You can find, or from your application list, it's called APM Inspector. Just double click and open that application. It's called APM Inspector. You can see I'm opening from my computer. Okay, it is opening. So after we'll get to know how to use this APM Inspector to locate any element from your app. Okay, so let it open. So this is the APM Inspector look. Okay, so how the APM Inspector help? So APM Inspector, definitely, since this APM Inspector will help you to look at any app on your virtual machine. It means you need to provide some of the information about your app, like about your operating system. Are you using Android or are you using iOS? Because APM Inspector works for both platform, so you have to give those specific information to this APM Inspector so that it has the knowledge about your app. It can communicate or talk about your app, and your app can be displayed over here so that it can help you to give you all the locators and properties value over here. Let's see how we can do this. So first of all, over here, your remote host, it means where your server, you have to give you also your server, because your app will be open through the server, right? So this is the information over here about your server, the IP address, local IP address for your server, with where is located. Over here is 127.0.0.1, and your remote, the port number it's sitting or listening your server. Remember, that's like from our the code. When you create our base file or base class, like we provide the same things. Like this is your server, right? This is your server, and this is your port number where APM server it's sitting and listening, right? Because when you run your script will communicate, will talk to the server, so you have to know where is the server. Similarly, your API Inspector also have to know your server, because whatever you need to do on your virtual machine, it have to go through the server. So your APM Inspector need a knowledge about the server information. Okay, so that's the two things you're going to provide first. And here you are going to create some desired capabilities, like exactly the same desired capabilities we create over here, the create capabilities using the UIautomator 2 option. The same thing you are going to do, but it has some format. So what would be the format? Your format would be like exactly over here. This is the format. Okay, so we already provided the remote host. This is the, and then port number. Now the first things, what app you want to spy. So you have to give the app name, and also the where the app is located. It means the same root directory path, exactly the same thing, root directory path we provide over here too. Here we also provide where is your root directory. So this is your app root directory path. Okay, this is the one, right? So here, instead of we use get property, we use user.directory, which is your local C drive, all those things. So you will get, please provide the your root directory path as per your root directory path for your app from your local machine. So let's go to the APM, and then first things you pass app. Okay, so app, and this is the format is text format, and put the value, it means where it is located. Okay, and the next things, click on plus sign, and then it will open another options, another field. And then the next thing would be, it's exactly, you will follow this one. Then device name, what device you are going to use, your virtual device name. In my case over here, my virtual device name, you can see my virtual device name, right now I'm running demo 2. Okay, so whatever the virtual device name you are going to use, to just give over here. This is the key value is the device name, key is the device name, and your value would be like whatever the name is, demo 2. Okay, at the third one, it is just like key and value pair you're going to provide. So, all about your desired capabilities. The third things, so what's the third things? Third key value would be your platform name. So your key value is platform name, and your value would be Android if you're doing Android, because APM Inspector works for both platforms, so you have to very specific what is the platform name. So your platform name is the key, and value is the Android, right? Android. And the next one would be your automation name. So automation name, it's, let me get this one. So automation name is the driver, because who's going to do the things on your system? Driver, right? Let's make this lowercase. Who's going to do? So remember, in our code also we provide the over here, like your automation, we create an object of the UI automator 2 options, right? And then over, because, and if you remember that, when you talk about one of the previous lecture, we talk about what is the UI automator. It comes from the Google, right? It's a Google object, and it create to make our automation much better. And Appium, they create, they use this UI automator, create another wrapper and give a name UI automator 2, which gives us much more features to make our automation script easier, dynamic. And it comes with a driver too. And we have shown that to install the UI automator driver. So it is the driver. So with UI automator, it comes with a driver who does the inspect, who run your script, who follow your script, do the action, perform the the action on the virtual machine or on your the app, right? So it comes with the driver. So this is the only the driver, it does all those things, right? So so you need to provide this driver option too, right, over there. So let's go back to there, and then what's the value? The value would be, make sure you type exactly the same UI uppercase and A is uppercase, and make sure there is no space at the beginning or at the end. Okay, go to your over here and paste as a value UI automator, right? And the next things you have to provide, I think that should be fine, right? That should be fine. So that's pretty much all. So what you can do, and after that, if you so this is, you can see it's creating all of your key and value, creating a JSON file over here. So here is all the desired capabilities about your app, or where is the app is located, what's the device name, like your virtual device name, what's the platform, like is Android, and what's the your automation, Android automation framework. So UI automation is also framework, so it comes with a driver. So who's the driver? It's a UI automator 2, right? Before then you have to click on start session. Before you click on start session, make sure your server is running. So in this case, you can run your server manually, right? Because this is something you are just using on your system, on your local machine, to locate the element. Okay, so in this case, you can run your driver manual. Your server manual. It's fine. So open your command prompt and just type Appium, right? And then hit enter. So make sure your server is running. So let it run your server. Okay. Okay. So server it's running. Okay, you can see your server is running. So let's minimize your server. Don't let it continue. You don't close it. Okay, and now you can hit start session. Before you start session, you can save it if you want. You can save this desired capabilities, right? You can say you can give a name over here, whatever you say, demo, demo 2. You can say whatever, so next time whenever you are going to use it, you don't have to create this desired capabilities or JSON file again. JSON script you don't have to create, so you can use from the save from desired capabilities. Okay, so click on start session and see on your server, you will see it is the APM Inspector is communicating with your server. Okay, you can see that your server is up and running, and also it is also, you can see it's running too. So soon you will see that your Appium app it's going to be shown on this tool. Okay, here we go. You see now, this app, your app API demos is showing over here. Okay, this is really cool. So what do you want to do now? Whatever you want to do, so you have this app virtually inside the APM Inspector tool. So now example, you want to click example, the preference, this element, on this element or on this tab you want to click on. So before you click on, you have to you have to spy this locator, where is the preference tab is located, and then you perform the action, right? So you can just just select this one, click. If you just do one click, on the right hand side you will see the selected element over here. It's showing all the attribute that belongs to this element, the preference element. You can see the accessibility ID, xpath, you will see the lot of other source ID, source ID or ID, it's the same. You can see there's a lot of others attributes, so you can use any one of those attributes to find your elements. So let's do it. Okay, so here is you can see accessibility ID we have, and the preference, this is the value, and here is xpath. Either any one of them you can use. Maybe we can use accessibility ID, it's up to you. So copy this, the value of this accessibility ID, go back to your Eclipse. So here, the same class, the base class we're going to use, just for our keep it easy, and then later on we'll create a separate class with the method. Okay, so over here, so how we can do is same like if you're familiar with Selenium, the Selenium library. So to locate any element, what do? We use the the driver.findElement method, right? Find element, then by dot, you can use any one of them, xpath, ID, class name. So we're not using xpath or ID or class name. Here we said we're going to use accessibility ID, so this one we're going to use, as I said, accessibility ID and androidUIautomator locator. This is very explicitly for mobile automation, right? So in that case, as usually for Selenium, the by is used for, it is a common the method part that we use for xpath ID, class name, both in web and mobile. But for accessibility ID or androidUIautomator locator, we use another, instead of by we use APM by dot access. So as soon as you type APM by, you see there's a lot of other locator it shows over here, like accessibility ID over here, and it's expect string, right? So select on accessibility ID, and then here is the value of the accessibility ID is a string. Okay, so this is the locator for this preference tab. And what do you want to do? Now you dot and apply your action, which is like click action, right? So that's what you can do. Okay, that's the way. Just always remember, that APM by only use for accessibility ID or androidUIautomator locator. Other than, for xpath, ID, class name, you will use same like we use driver dot find element, right? Same way we use driver dot find element by dot, say example xpath. Okay, so it's the same way we do like a Selenium. Okay, so in this case we're not using xpath. So this is, we could use xpath, we have a xpath value too, but I'm using accessibility ID just to show you that in this case we're using APM by. Okay, so save it, and at the very end, we're quitting driver and we're also stopping the server. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see if we run it. Before we run it, save it, make sure, and then let's open our virtual device. Okay, and then run it. Let me just run it. Run as test ng. Soon you will see it will click, it will reopen because it was open, so it will reopen the app. Then it will click on the preference tab. Here you go. So let it go. Here you go. It's reopening the app. My system is a little bit slow, so that's why it's takes a little bit time. But anyways, you can see now it's home page, and then it was very quick. So it's clicked on there, and you can see. Let me see over here, the output over here, the console. Okay. Okay, it's saying it couldn't start a new session. Oh, the new session didn't able to start. Oh, maybe. Oh, I know why. Because it's I had already open the APM server, the manually I did. So let's clear it or close it. Okay. Clear the session, close it, and then rerun again. Maybe that could be the reason. Run it again. You need a little bit faster computer, just FYI, if you because there's a lot of resource it takes, right? It's running your Eclipse, running your, because Android is Studio, like your virtual device, it takes a lot of resource, right? And also the APM server is also running behind the scene, right? Now you can see the server is running over here on your console. It means it's created the session. Just let it go. Here we go. The app is open. So now this is the home page. It was really quick, so we can see, let's see the log. Now you can see it ran on, so it's saying it's failed. Okay, it's saying failed. Could not stop. Okay. So to resolve the no session exception error, I create another new virtual device. Okay, as I said, so I create a virtual device over here. It's a new virtual device with the Android 11.0. I created, and then if if we run, if it will run again, and if you see the issue is still existing, still you are getting a the same error, like no session error, as well as like a socket hang up. It means like you will see that it's invoked the app, but it didn't click on the element, even though your element, the addresses, everything is right. So it shut down it's quit the app or driver. It's a hang out the driver. So to resolve that issue, that's another solution I found. So let me share with you. let me share with you. So if you go here, let me share with you. You will see that this is a very common issue, across the Android. So this is also like getting socket hang-up error, which is at the beginning it says the no session exception, all those things. So you will find, I will share this link at the below description, so you will find there is a lot of discussion in this area related to this issue. But I found you can feel free to go with this link and see this which one it's worked for you. But for me it's worked this one, very simple one. Like you need to reboot your virtual device. So reboot, as I said, like one of the solution is rebooting the virtual device, but it's rebooting virtual device. It's not just that you close your Android device manager and reopen. It's not that. It's called cold boot. So cold boot now, you reboot your virtual device through the cold boot now. So what is how you do the cold boot now? It's very simple. Let's go. So assume that this is your virtual device, right? So go to on edit over here, and then go show advanced setting, and then if you go down, go a little bit down over here, you will see your emulated performance over here, and then you will see I already did, it is like a cold boot option. So here is a quick boot. In your case you will see it's selected by default is a quick boot, so you can select this one, cold boot. Okay, cold boot, and then apply and finish. Okay, so and after that it will restart your virtual device and it will reopen everything, and after that you will try your code. Let me try the code. Okay, let me go ahead, let me try it. And also if you want, you can add this code also, that's on the top with your when you start your APM server automatically, you can with your environment. So but it's not necessary, it shouldn't be the problem. So let's run it. It should work now. Let me run it, testing. So at this time it's not only invoke the app, but also it will click on the locator, which is the preference locator as per our this code, right? And then click on there, and also it's supposed to show that test case got passed. Okay, looks still is good. Let it go. Let me put it a little bit up. Here we go. So app got invoked, I can see it, and then the preference supposed to click. Here we go. You see the preference was clicked. Yes, it was clicked. I saw that preference was clicked, and after that the driver got closed as well as server got stopped, right? And you can see over here total test run 1 and no failure this time. It's pass 1. Okay, there is no issue. So that's the way. This is a simple solution, but it is a very common issues across the APM world, and it's a lot of people they are getting all of a sudden. So a lot of times you will see the same code is running yesterday, but the next day you will see this we're getting the issues like the session not created, and then the socket hangout, all those things, right? So this is just, you need most of the times you need to reboot your virtual machines, but reboot is a cold reboot. Okay, not just close your Android the virtual device ADB managers, not that one. So do the cold reboot the virtual machine, virtual device you are using first, or you can just create another new virtual device and see that's and invoke your app first, and then run the test again, see this if it's working. If it doesn't work, do the cold reboot. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. Bye bye.